So can I invite Monsignor Travny and also Graham from the Club of Rome to come up as our main partners to reflect on what we've achieved as those here decide where they're going to have dinner tonight, what kind of reflections they will have, and how they will be able to counter some of these forces that Ian has identified, which are really quite intimidating, particularly the speed at which everything is happening, as he emphasized. Monsignor Travny.
Thank you very much. So if you look around here, we started with more than 350 people this afternoon. So look around and see how many survived. And big applause for those who survived. Huh? This huge marathon conference. And the good news is that if I look at you, I have a sense that I can rely on you, because you remained up to the end, and this is a good news for all of us. So my topic, or I will try to be very brief. So I will condense everything in 3 words. The first is dialogue. Paul urges us to be engaged with dialogue. And the dialogue has to be something well designed, as he said, performed with patience, self-discipline, generosity, keeping in mind that realities are greater than ideas. And we want to go further and to say that dialogue is something that must be open, dynamic, must be free from prejudices, humble, orientated to truth, and respectable. And we set up this project in that kind of platform, so framework. So we want to be in dialogue with people, and we want to make an effort to make a change for the future. And the second word I would like to use is relationship. So this is one of the inner, let's say, missions of the church, to establish relationship, to be engaged with people. And you can see that we have some, I pointed out, some ideas that we would like to reach and to achieve. And of course, we have a set of people that are working closely inside the church. We have more than 400,000 priests available that we can use. We can let's say, update it. We can teach them, and we can reach people. And we have extremely big number of institutions, educational institutions, that we can use to spread this message that we are trying to develop. And this is from 2011. We have updated numbers. Today, we have 1,500 universities, Catholic universities worldwide, and we have 210,000 schools around the world. We reach 60 million students on daily basis, which 1/4 is based in Africa, and this network is growing. So we have potentiality to build and to reach extremely big number of people. And the third word that I would like to point out is that we need to unite forces. We need to bring people from different environments, from different realities, philanthropy, educational institutions, research centers. And you can see that there's 7 points here, 7 circles. We want to reach, I mean, this I use for purpose the number 7, because this is a biblical number that explain and mean the fullness. We need to reach everyone we can in every, let's say, dimension of the social life to provide for cultural and social impact. And of course, we can do it through different levels of impacting society. And one of those was, for example, an encyclical letter of Pope Francis on environment, on climate change. And for example, today's statement. Every newspaper, or maybe not every newspaper, but every Vatican journalist will report about that to the press or to the agencies they work for. And so we need to go from this, let's say, general statements up to very specific work, and we are open to do that. So we have an extremely big network of institutions. We would like to set up a special project, for example, to discover, to reach them and to ask them who is running something about environment and especially about the water. And we would like to improve their project. We would like to invite them to work with us closely and to share the ideas, to show that we can make a difference. And that's the goal. So you are invited to join this group and to help us really to make a difference for the future. Thank you.
What?
Monsignor Trafny, thank you very much indeed.
We need a chair.
I have a very difficult job. I stand between you and a drink or something to eat and the end of today. This has been a most wonderful day, a really most wonderful day, and I'm very grateful to you all. The Club of Rome is grateful to you all for taking your time and making these contributions and perhaps playing a part in making a better world. I'm going to make 5 points, and one of them is actually identical to the point that Monsignor Trafny has just made. We didn't collaborate on this beforehand, but we have the same conclusion. First, we live today as if we have 1.5 planets. We live beyond the capacity of the Earth. 7.6 billion people are using too many resources, and that's creating too much pollution. Second, because we're living beyond the capacity of the planet, we have some problems. One of those is water. The water shortages, the water pollution, access to water. But climate change is another, and is arguably even more serious. But the migration we're seeing from Africa, from places like Syria, these are all part of the same problem. So we need to bring our impact on the planet back into balance. We need to reduce our ecological footprint. That's what the limits to growth is about. It's not about economics. It's about the ecological impact of humanity. And we need to bring that back into balance, and we need a plan to do that. My next point is that the political system is not doing this. The political system is failing us. The Club of Rome has been talking about this for more than 45 years. The limits to growth was the warning that we are now experiencing, and we failed. And so our conclusion is that we need to take a different approach. And that's why I come back to the same conclusion as Monsignor Trafny. We need a collaboration, a coalition of the willing, a group of organizations that can come together and make the changes that are needed. Now, that would obviously include the Vatican in our book, because the Club of Rome believes that the Vatican, the religious organizations, need to be part of this coalition because of their reach, because of their influence and values. But it also needs people like the trades union, like business, like religious, like NGOs, like the educational institutions. We're working now with a new project called Reclaim Economics to try and change the way economics is taught and understood in universities and schools, to reach out to younger people, to make them understand that this economic system we have today is toxic. It's at the root of all our problems. So the first conclusion I have for you is, let's work together. We've had a great day of exchange in ideas. Let's bring these people together. Let's come together and do something positive, because the politicians are not doing it, certainly most of them. And the second point I want to make, just to close, is please let's forget the bigger picture. It's not just a question of scaling up lots of small initiatives. We are winning lots of battles, but we are currently losing the war. We need to have a much bigger vision for where we're going. We need to change the overall system if we're all to survive for for the next 100 or 200 years. So please, let's work together and let's not forget the big picture. Thank you very much indeed.